You're live.
Okay, it's 10 a.m. I am going to call the Indiana State Ethics Commission meeting for December 18th, 2025 to order. The first item on the agenda would be the adoption of the agenda. So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. The agenda is adopted. The next item on the agenda would be the approval of the minutes of November 13th, 2025. Have all the commissioners had an opportunity to review the minutes? Are there any additions or corrections?
Approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
Those opposed, the minutes of November 13th, 2025 are approved. The next item on the agenda is the consideration of post-employment waivers. Our first post-employment waiver is the Indiana Department of Natural Resources regarding Caleb Williams, presented by DNR Ethics Officer Stephanie Flintner. Can you both please come up to the table? Okay, that's perfect. May we please have the witnesses sworn?
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear that what you're about to say is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Thank you. Can you both please state your name for the record?
Stephanie Flitner, I'm General Counsel and Ethics Officer for DNR.
Caleb Williams, applicant.
Thank you. You may proceed.
First, I want to apologize. Reagan did do what she was supposed to do. She sent me the video of the previous ethics of these waivers. I was not able to get it work, so I'm slightly spitballing here. I hope what I present is what you're expecting. I'm going to just use my legal experience and kind of guess what I would need to know to make the decision, but I hope that you'll ask questions if you
We have
No.
questions. We certainly will.
comfortable with what I've said. So we're here today for Mr. Williams' post-employment waiver under IC 42611B2, which is the 365-day cooling off period. Mr. Williams left state employment with the DNR in March of last year. While he was with the state, he worked as an engineer for us. He was an exemplary employee. We wish he hadn't left us, but we're glad to see he's been successful. He does work full-time for the city of Terre Haute. The reason we're here though is a side business that he has, which is CAW Incorporated. It is a self-employment where he would like to perform engineering services for others, including the Department of Natural Resources. While he was in our employment, while he did not have substantial decision-making ability over who got engineering contracts, he did occasionally write specs. We felt that this was potentially in a gray area, and we should come here and present this to the commission and give you all the ability to make the decision rather than us making a judgment call. He prepared bid documents, and part of the waiver that we're asking for is that he would of course do no work on anything that he's identified as something he previously prepared, because that would be a conflict. And you'll see there's a section titled matters where Mr. Williams is restricted. I think the majority of those projects are near completion at this point. So I don't know why we would endeavor to hire him anyway, but that would be made clear to those at DNR. I also wanted to bring up that it would be beneficial for the state and the public to allow Mr. Williams to engage in this work. He has a very specialized capacity and expertise in his field. We don't have a ton of in-house resources for people in this field, not just because he left our employment either. It's just there simply are not a ton of engineers that are working for DNR right now, and we're not able to recruit as well. We would also just he has a familiarity with DNR's internal procedures, the technical standards that we need. He will do an excellent job for us in that role. It really enables the agency to utilize specialized expertise out of clear guardrails of saying that he will not work on anything that he previously put specs together for. It will cause an economic hardship for Mr. Williams if he is not able to continue this. It's not widely available, this type of work outside of agencies like DNR. Really for his small business, it would reduce the volume as someone who's trying to get a business started up. And his family does rely on this income to supplement his income, because again, he's gone to work for another public entity and his spouse is also employed as a public school teacher. So with that, are there any questions or anything that I did not include, which I should have?
Commissioners, any questions or concerns?
No, it was a well-presented petition.
Okay, do I have
Thank you.
do I have a motion?
I move for approval.
Have a second? Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Motion carries. The post-employment waiver is approved. Good luck with your second business.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the post-employment waiver regarding Indiana Economic Development Corporation regarding Alicia McFadden, presented by Mark Lasky. And you will please approach. May we please have the witnesses sworn?
Raise your right hands, please. Do you swear that what you're about to say is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Can you please both state your name for the record?
Yes, I'm Mark Waskey, Senior Vice President with the IEC.
Alicia McFadden, applicant.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Good morning, members of the State Ethics Commission. My name is Mark Waskey, Senior Vice President with the IEC. I'm honored to represent the Secretary and thank the Commission for the opportunity to come before you today to seek the approval of a post-employment waiver for Indiana Economic Development Corporation employee Alicia McFadden. Ms. McFadden has given almost 7 dedicated years of service to the state of Indiana, all of which have been at the IEDC. Today, Ms. McFadden is requesting a waiver of the 365-day cooling off period so that she may pursue an outside employment opportunity with McGuire Sponsel. McGuire Sponsel provides specialty tax and incentive advisory services with companies and CPA firms nationwide. McGuire assists Indiana firms with incentive applications, compliance reporting, and participates in negotiations on behalf of its clients. McGuire also has an active incentive agreement with the IEDC of its own. At the IEDC, Ms. McFadden served as account manager and operations specialist. Her day-to-day activities involved the non-discretionary ministerial administration of IEDC incentive agreements. She reviews annual reports for accuracy and completeness, serves as a point of contact for companies, and assists firms with technical questions such as accessing reporting systems. To be clear, these IEDC incentive agreements are negotiated by another department within the IEDC. Ms. McFadden does not participate in the evaluation of the applications or subsequent contract negotiations. Once agreed upon by another division, she assembles contract templates and forwards them for processing. We respectfully ask the Ethics Commission to note that this waiver request is aligned and consistent with the public interest mission, and that Ms. McFadden strongly values and has served throughout her career, and likewise desires to apply her unique and specialized experience in incentive administration to help ensure Hoosier businesses, many of which are small businesses and startups, are able to meet their incentive obligations for the state of Indiana. In addition to the McGuire Sponsel incentive agreement, we have identified 24 clients of McGuire Sponsel with which Ms. McFadden has interacted. While at McGuire, Ms. McFadden will be screened for these matters for 1 year. Counsel for the IEDC has communicated the list of clients to McGuire Sponsel, and they're willing to put screens in place. I conclude by stating that a decline of this waiver would have significant implications for Ms. McFadden. As mentioned, she has a very specialized niche experience, and denying this waiver would effectively prohibit her from obtaining outside employment in her field at a critical point in her early career. Additionally, she is the primary income earner for her young family and wishes to increase her earning ability to advancing her career growth. For these reasons, we respectfully ask the Commission to grant a request for the post-employment waiver. This concludes my statement. Thank you for consideration. Have a concerning question.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions or concerns?
Approval.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the post-employment waiver is approved. Good luck. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the consideration of agreed settlement in re Jennifer Ruth Green, 2025-03-0077. These are from the council, correct? So we don't need them sworn.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm Attorney Jennifer Lukemar on behalf of Jennifer Ruth Green.
Okay,
Good
thank
morning.
you. And can you just state your name for the record as well?
Yes, my name is Elaine Bowman, and I serve as Chief Counsel for Enforcement for the Indiana Office of Inspector General.
Okay, you may proceed.
Thank you. Commissioners, on behalf of the Office of Inspector General, I respectfully request the Commission's approval of the agreed settlement entered into between the OIG and Jennifer Ruth Green. This matter was first presented to you during an executive session in September 2025. At that time, OIG Director of Investigations, Mark Mitchell, and I presented a probable cause affidavit and supporting exhibits concerning 5 areas: the committee to elect Jennifer Ruth Green Facebook account, Ms. Green's battle-proven leadership biography, her participation in a meeting with a member of the National Republican Congressional Committee, the use of a state employee as a personal aide, and alleged retaliation against an individual who provided information to the OIG. Following your review, the Commission found probable cause that Ms. Green violated 4 provisions of the Indiana Code of Ethics. The next day, the OIG filed a formal ethics complaint outlining violations of 42 IAC 154, the political activity rule, 42 IAC 1513, the ghost employment rule, Indiana Code 42617, the misuse of state property rule, and Indiana Code 42613, the prohibition against retaliation. In accordance with Indiana Code 4277, the OIG is mandated to certify the discovery of potential criminal activity to the appropriate prosecuting attorney. In this instance, the OIG certified our findings to the Marion County Prosecutor's Office on October 30th, 2025, and provided the grand jury screening section with Director Mitchell's investigative records concerning potential criminal acts under Indiana Code 3544.113, the ghost employment statute, Indiana Code 3544.211, the retaliation statute, and Indiana Code 3544.111, the official misconduct statute. It is the OIG's understanding that the Marion County Prosecutor's Office will be reviewing the investigative materials and render a decision at the conclusion of their review. As part of the agreed settlement, Ms. Green has voluntarily admitted to violating 2 out of the 4 ethics code rules. Specifically, Ms. Green admits to violating 42 IAC 154, the political activity rule, by directing state employees to generate, proofread, and post content to the elect Jennifer Ruth Green Facebook account. Ms. Green admits to violating Indiana Code 42617, the misuse of state property rule, by using and requiring a state employee to use for assigned state vehicle a 2024 Chevrolet Suburban for non-official state duties. Ms. Green agrees to pay a civil penalty of $10,000 within 60 days of the Commission's approval of the agreed settlement. And Ms. Green waives her right to a public hearing before this Commission on alleged violations of the Indiana Code of Ethics, which was originally scheduled for today. Under Indiana Code 42612, the Commission may impose a fine up to 3 times the benefit received for an ethics violation. To determine the benefit Ms. Green received, Director Mitchell obtained wage data from the Office of State Comptroller and calculated the state employee's spent time worth approximately $1,300 generating, proofreading, and posting content to the elect Jennifer Ruth Green Facebook account. Director Mitchell also reviewed Ms. Green's official travel records and vehicle tracking data from the Indiana Department of Administration, determining that Ms. Green accrued approximately 7,000 personal miles on her assigned state vehicle, resulting in a benefit of roughly $3,700. The $10,000 fine represents approximately 2 times the total personal benefit received by Ms. Green, which the OIG believes is a fair, appropriate, and proportionate response that serves the interests of justice in the state of Indiana. This commission adopted the civil penalty rules found in 40 IAC 233 and 239, and shall consider general, aggravating, and mitigating factors when approving an agreed settlement. A few factors the commission may consider are leadership and responsibility. As Secretary of Public Safety and Executive Director of the Indiana Department of Homeland Security, Ms. Green held one of the highest leadership roles in the state government. These positions carried significant responsibility, overseeing agencies tasked with law enforcement, emergency response, and safety policy for Indiana families. Pattern and duration of misconduct. Director Mitchell's investigation revealed that during Ms. Green's brief tenure, over 50 social media posts were created by state employees, and over 7,000 personal miles were logged on her assigned state vehicle. The OIG concluded these were not isolated incidents, but rather a sustained pattern of behavior. Failure to follow or utilize ethical resources. Ms. Green attended ethics training and would have been aware of the applicable guidelines. In addition to this training, Ms. Green had access to further ethics resources and a dedicated ethics officer within the Indiana Department of Homeland Security, an individual who was recently recognized by the OIG for outstanding service. Impact on public trust. The violations committed by Ms. Green have had a tangible impact on public confidence in state government. The media coverage surrounding this case has emphasized the seriousness of the allegations and highlighted the OIG's actions. The OIG's mission is to uphold integrity, accountability, and public trust in state government. This case underscores the Indiana Code of Ethics applies equally to all members of the executive branch, from entry-level employees to the highest levels of leadership. It is an honor and privilege to serve the people of Indiana. Those entrusted with leadership positions must recognize that actions or inactions at the top matter. Leaders are responsible for setting the standard and modeling ethical conduct for their teams and agencies. The OIG also recognizes the value of resolution and believes the settlement agreement serves public interest, and several factors support this conclusion. Cooperation with the OIG's investigation. Ms. Green participated in the OIG's investigation, including agreeing to be interviewed and providing relevant information. Acknowledgement of wrongdoing. Ms. Green has accepted responsibility for her actions, which is a meaningful step toward accountability. Restitution and financial penalty. Ms. Green has agreed to reimburse the state for improperly received benefits and pay a civil fine of $10,000. This amount is approximately twice the value of the benefits in question and is a material hardship to Ms. Green, as $10,000 is not an insignificant civil fine. Voluntary resignation. Ms. Green resigned from her position on September 5th, 2025, ending her tenure less than 9 months into a 4-year appointment. Efficient resolution. The agreed settlement avoids the delays and significant costs associated with a multi-day public hearing, while also sparing further strain on state employees who have already endured considerable disruption. Upholding ethical standards. The agreed settlement reinforces the Commission's commitment to addressing violations of the Indiana Code of Ethics with fairness, transparency, and efficiency. Finally, after a thorough review of the facts, and after carefully weighing the aggravators and mitigators, the OIG believes that the agreed settlement is in the best interest of justice and the state of Indiana. The agreed settlement reinforces the importance of ethical standards in public service. The agreed settlement also brings a resolution of closure and finality to this matter that cannot be challenged or appealed. For these reasons, the Office of Inspector General respectfully requests that the Commission approve the agreed settlement. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Council, would you like to add anything?
Thank you, Commission members. On behalf of, I have a statement I'd like to read on behalf of Jennifer Ruth Green, but I would echo some of the sentiments from the OIG's office in that once we started exchanging discovery and having conversations and open dialogues of what really happened as Jennifer Ruth led that agency or those agencies, it became clear that there was going to be some evidentiary challenges to the original complaint brought before this commission. And it was not done out of any disrespect towards the commission's time or the presentation of that evidence. But as often happens in investigations, once the parties start sifting through the discovery as exchanged and looking beyond kind of the surface, you find additional information that may combat the original allegations. And that's part of what brought us to this resolution. And at that point, I will read a brief statement on behalf of Jennifer Ruth. I have been in leadership roles as part of my ascension within the Air Force and was in a leadership role with this administration. As a leader, I know that I am responsible for what happens within the over which I led. I assure you, the violations of the ethic code are aberrant behavior for me. The violations were mistakes and committed, but only were not made with any malicious intent for gain. My moral code is bred from my faith. My character has been shaped by my 25 years serving this nation in the armed forces without blemish. However, I am human, and we know humans are fallible. I appreciate your consideration of that in determining whether to accept this agreement, which I humbly request you accept.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions?
Did the Office of Inspector General consider as part of the settlement a bar against future state employment on behalf of Ms. Green?
The OIG, that is one of the points that was considered. However, Ms. Green was appointed to her position, and for her to come back to accept any lower position within state government would be highly unlikely. And given the media coverage surrounding these events, any basic background check would find this information.
All right, thank you.
Commissioners, any other questions or concerns?
I move for approval of the agreed settlement.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. The agreed settlement is approved. Thank you both for your presentation.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is the State Ethics Commission Director's Report. Madam Director?
All right, thank you so much. So as always, I will update you on our informal advisory opinions. We had 23 this month, mostly post-employment and gifts and outside employment as well. As a reminder, we are moving into executive session right after this. So anyone who is not part of that executive session, at the end of this meeting, we would ask that you guys remove from the room. One thing that I wanted to float as a potential change for next year is our numbering system for ethics cases. So right now, basically when the OIG submits their probable cause affidavit and complaint, they use their own internal case number. I'd like to propose that we use commission case numbers. So the first one in 2026 would be 2026 SEC 001 or whatever, to kind of make that more clear.
Yeah.
Shockingly logical.
So I wanted to float that and get your guys' opinion on it.
And I think that makes a lot of sense.
Perfect. And then lastly, I want to mention that this is Commissioner Fennerty's last meeting. And we just want to say how much we appreciate your work on this commission. And thank you so much. And so there is a certificate.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's been a pleasure having you on the commission.
Thank you.
I've enjoyed it very much. I thank that it was Governor Holcomb who appointed me 8 years ago to the commission. And I have had the opportunity to work with some very impressive people and get to know people I otherwise would not have. I appreciate the dedication of the staff to enforcing the rules of ethics and publicizing what they are so people can avoid getting themselves in trouble in the first place. That's one of our goals that I've always promoted and applaud. And I do think in my time on the commission, I've seen an improvement in the way some of our materials are presented and the way some of the waivers are presented. And I appreciate all of you and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's all I have.
Okay, that was the last time on the agenda. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Yeah, I'm gonna let her have it on. Second.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. This meeting is adjourned.
What's on?
My report. Yeah.